For wild animals, life is all about survival. And in this battle for their own place in the natural world, each has adapted in amazing ways, evolving unique abilities and anatomical mutations, allowing them to thrive in even the toughest environments. But for some species, survival all comes down to intelligence. Animals with superpowered brains have developed complex languages and even invented tools to make life easier. Many have the intelligence to solve complex problems. And nature's smartest predators have developed ingenious hunting strategies that have taken them to the very top of the food chain. Sometimes, wild animals must play these mind games in order to survive. The northern coast of Australia. These waters are home to one of the planet's deadliest creatures. But strangely, the lethal hunter lurking beneath these waves doesn't even have a brain. Instead, this box jellyfish is pre-programmed to kill. Searching for prey using an array of simple visual sensors, then pursuing anything within range. It propels itself with 3-meter-long tentacles, each covered in 5,000 microscopic stinging cells that pump venom into anything they touch. While this simple visual system allows the box jellyfish to capture prey, it has no true intelligence. But the natural world is full of real geniuses, capable of staggering displays of thought, calculation, and even compassion. And here, in Thailand, one group of animals have developed an ability that demonstrates a level of intelligence usually found only in humans. Most long-tailed macaques spend their lives amongst the trees, eating fruit. But at low tide, this extraordinary troop have learned to use tools to harvest seafood. Twice daily, the macaques gather, waiting patiently for the tide to go out. As the water recedes, it exposes rocks encrusted with shellfish. But these mollusks have a tough armor, and it can be a struggle to crack them open. Simply bashing them against the rocks is a slow and often wasted effort. But out of necessity comes invention. Incredibly, these macaques have learned to use stones as tools. Much the same as our own early ancestors, these macaques use stones as makeshift hammers. Applying the perfect force to gently open the mollusks. And the macaques demonstrate their intelligence even further, selecting different shaped stones for each task. Chiseling off oysters requires a sharp, pointed stone. While a heavy, flat stone is used to penetrate shellfish, nuts, and crabs. Few animals on Earth are able to demonstrate such dexterity with stone tools. For some macaques, however, honing their technique takes longer than others. Though practice eventually makes perfect. But access to this bounty doesn't last long, and the troop must move quickly along the coastline at each low tide. They have just a few hours to prize off as many as they can before the sea will submerge the rocks once more. This is one of the few places on Earth where primates have been observed performing this rare ability. But it isn't just primates that have proven they have the intelligence required to utilize tools. Faced with the same problem of opening shells, sea otters have learned that rather than return to the shore, it's easier to carry a tool belt. Resting a flat stone on their stomach, they use it to open shellfish whilst floating on the surface. And the use of tools is also found in some surprising species. Here, amongst the trees of Eastern Europe, Even birds have learned that tools can make life easier. This great grey shrike may look like a songbird, but its Latin name means the butcher watchman. And for good reason. This is actually a fearsome predator. And when it catches one of its favorite rodents, it employs an ingenious tool to protect its meal. This shrike has learned to use these thorns like a skewer, impaling its prey in position, while it gradually tears it apart. It's an intelligent solution, passed down over the generations. It's not just these predatory birds that use their intelligence to find clever ways to make eating easier. High up in Ethiopia's Simien Mountains, the planet's most notorious scavenger has also devised an intelligent technique to assist with its unique dietary requirements. With a wingspan of over 3 meters, the Lammergeier vulture is one of the world's largest birds. It's also the only creature on the planet with a diet made up mostly of bones. Whilst other hawks pick the flesh from this carcass, the Lammergeier vulture has a highly acidic stomach, enabling it to completely digest solid bone. Although even for this giant, there are limits to the portion size it can swallow. So this remarkable bird has developed an intelligent strategy to consume even the biggest bones. In fact, the bigger the bone, the better. The vulture's talons aren't strong enough to snap the bone. He's going to need a little help. Transporting oversized bones to a height of around 150 meters, it's then time to let go. They repeat this bone-breaking technique up to 30 times until the fragments are small enough to swallow. But even after all that effort, the size of the bones the vultures can swallow is enough to make your eyes water. The vultures' use of gravity to help break up their food shows a clear understanding of cause and effect. But there's a species of primate that uses its intelligence to take food preparation to a whole new level. Here, on the beaches of Kashima, a group of Japanese macaques have evolved a culinary preference for washing their food before eating. Scientists have come here to monitor this unique behavior. Like any picnic on the beach, the macaque's food always gets covered in sand. And no one likes sand in their mouth. So the macaques have come up with a solution. Always washing what they eat. Using their highly dexterous fingers, they clean and peel their food. And even season their lunch, dipping it in the salty water between bites. It's the fact that this behavior is self-taught that makes it so fascinating. Choosing to wash their food seems to demonstrate a far higher level of intelligence than simply eating it as they find it. The young macaques witness the elders' eating habits and choose to follow suit in order to fit in. By the time they've mastered the technique at around 2.5, they've developed a taste for the salty snacks. And some simply can't get enough. Some researchers argue the fact that only this group of macaques have developed and passed down this unique behavior shows it's a learned culture. And a self-taught behavior indicates an animal's underlying intelligence. Here, in Africa, the weaver bird is one species that many believe demonstrates advanced problem-solving. They build nests so complex and intricate, even humans find it difficult to emulate. Each species' nests are unique, but they all require careful planning and design. They use a variety of plant materials to build with, and using only its beak, the weaver bird can actually tie knots. It's this skill that allows them to create such strong and elaborate constructions. Choosing a branch hanging over water, the birds also build a narrow, tube-like entrance to deter predators. The males do all this as part of their courtship, and only the most impressive nests will attract a female. Often, they must be torn down many times until it meets her requirements. And it's this process where the weavers display their ability to learn. They are not born with an innate ability to make the perfect nest. Instead, they must use their intelligence to adjust their technique and hone their skills. Weaver birds use their advanced mental ability to teach themselves how to build the perfect shelter. But the planet's most clinical predator demonstrates their brain power by teaching their young an ingenious way to hunt. In every ocean on Earth, pods of orca all develop their own unique hunting techniques. But this Patagonian shoreline is one of only 2 places in the world where killer whales have learned to purposely strand themselves as they attempt to catch seal pups playing on the beach. In breeding season, this ambush tactic is highly successful. But they don't always get it right. And the orca risk death if they are unable to wriggle back into deeper water. The orcas, however, have the intelligence to know that this is a high-risk strategy. So today, even before the seal pups have been born, these orca have gathered here for a training session. The orca are waiting near the entrance to a lagoon. They know this area has a large tidal range. Gradually, the Atlantic waters flood a hidden channel, allowing the orcas to swim in. Once inside the lagoon, the biggest orca now demonstrates how to time its attack with the surge of a wave. Waiting for the next wave to maneuver back into deeper water. The young orcas are then forced to practice this beaching technique. For the orcas, this practice makes perfect. It may be risky, but by practicing in advance, they demonstrate extremely high intelligence, enabling the youngsters to learn this skill in a less pressurized environment. It's this level of intelligence that makes the ocean's largest dolphin also its deadliest predator. But another dolphin species also displays similar complex problem-solving skills. Using teamwork and communication to not only benefit themselves, but all the other members of their group. Here in Florida, these dolphins have used their vast intelligence to devise a new way of catching fish. Taking up a position downstream, one of the dolphins uses her tail to whip up a wall of silt from the seabed. The others are waiting patiently. Unable to see through the muddied water, the fish are forced to go over it, straight into the path of the waiting dolphins. It's an ingenious technique, likely passed down through the generations, taught by the adults to their offspring. This advanced level of problem solving and teamwork clearly demonstrate the dolphin's incredible intelligence. And the desire to make hunting more efficient is a trademark of any animal's brain power. When it comes to efficient, coordinated hunting, dolphins aren't the only marine mammal that has devised an ingenious method to corral their prey. Humpback whales are big, and they're also clever. In fact, the way they hunt takes animal intelligence to the next level. Despite weighing up to 40 tons, humpbacks only eat krill and small fish. In order to catch enough prey, these highly intelligent whales have developed a unique hunting method called bubble netting. For the bubble net to work, the whales must use highly detailed vocalizations to coordinate the entire pod. Once a shoal is located, the lead whale dives deep below the fish and then exhales, driving the shoal towards the surface. Then, working as a team, the rest of the pod surround the shoal, blowing bubbles and sounding loud calls to disorientate the fish. This wall of sound and bubbles prevents the fish from escaping. Once the bubble net is in place, the whales then dive, surging up from below, their enormous jaws engulfing the helpless fish. Using their intelligence and complex language, these whales will feast like this all summer long, before returning to warmer equatorial waters to breed and give birth. The humpback's powerful vocalizations enable them to communicate with other whales hundreds of kilometers away. And for many of the planet's most intelligent animals, it's this ability to coordinate through their own form of language that sets them apart. Here, in the Okavango Delta, these impala have learned to always be on the lookout for predators. But other than their continuous surveillance, with no real language, impala are unable to develop any effective strategies against intelligent predators. Like a pack of wild dogs, one of Africa's most efficient killers. Using communication to outwit their prey, almost 3/4 of this pack's hunts end in a kill. That's more than twice the success rate of a pride of lions. Ever alert, one of the dogs thinks it's spotted an opportunity. He's singled out a target, but the impala have no idea which one of them the dogs are after. In a carefully rehearsed move, the pack spread out, anticipating the impala's escape tactics. Over short distances, the impala may be able to outrun the dogs. But this is no sprint. As the leading dogs tire, other members of the pack move up to maintain pressure on the impala. Soon, the impala's inferior endurance begins to show. And the dogs waste no time in dispatching their prey. The dogs feast quietly, hoping to avoid attracting scavengers. The entire carcass is consumed before retreating back to the den. Here, meat is regurgitated for the alpha female, who stayed behind to protect her pups, who aren't yet strong enough to join the hunt. Like wolves, only the alpha is allowed to mate, creating a strong bloodline and a powerful family bond. Endurance, teamwork, and physical strength are vital to the wild dog's success as hunters. But it's their intelligence that truly makes them one of the most efficient predators on the African savanna. But another species, lacking physical strength, has learnt to use its own superior intelligence to harness the strength of other animals. These feathered geniuses live in complex societies, communicating detailed messages with dozens of distinct calls. Ravens get up to half their food scavenging carcasses. In raven society, wisdom is revered. The older birds always given first pick at the carcass. Any juveniles trying to eat before their elders are quickly put in their place. But in the depths of winter, any animal remains will be frozen solid. Unable to break through the rock-hard exterior themselves, these ingenious birds have devised a plan. The ravens use their notorious calls to signal the location of the carcass to bigger, stronger animals like wolves, coyotes, and wolverines. Their powerful jaws have the strength to expose softer parts of the frozen carcass. Once they've had their fill, the meat is accessible to the birds. Ravens may have one of the largest brains relative to body size amongst birds. But the largest brain of any land animal ever to have lived belongs to the elephant, imbuing them with their notoriously long memory and the ability to feel emotions. Here, in the foothills of the Himalayas, each of these Asian elephants weighs almost 5 tons. But these are gentle giants and have developed a subtle and intricate language, enabling them to communicate their complex emotions. From high-frequency calls to seismic rumbles, elephants use dozens of different sounds to express their feelings. Their huge brains are also most famous for their powerful memory, enabling this herd to navigate back to the same watering holes for centuries. Following the monsoon to their northern feeding grounds, the herd is led by the oldest female. It's her job to remember how to get there. Having been shown the way by her own ancestors, her extraordinary memory now allows her to lead the others along this ancient migratory route. This memory requires remarkable brain power. But it's the social and emotional intelligence that binds their family groups together. Here, in Tanzania, nothing demonstrates their apparent intelligence more than these African elephants' ability to mourn the death of another elephant. Whenever elephants encounter the bones of another elephant, the whole group will gather, using their sensitive trunks to investigate the remains. Solemnly, the whole group appear to mourn the loss, sometimes for hours before moving off. And it's only elephant bones and tusks that elicits this response, which appears to demonstrate that elephants have a concept of death. It was thought only humans and apes had such emotional intelligence, thanks to a part of the brain known as spindle cells. But spindle cells have now been found in elephants, helping to explain their ability to display empathy. Feeling sadness at the death of another animal places the elephant among nature's most emotionally intelligent creatures. But in nature, intelligence itself can sometimes lead to violence. When intelligent animals form social groups, the complex web of loyalties and allegiances can often cause conflict. These forests in northwest India are home to one of the planet's most ingenious and mischievous animals. But rhesus macaques are also notorious for their brutal fights over dominance. And they start to squabble at a very young age. And it's not only the trees that they use as their playground. They've also taken over the legendary Galter Temple. Known as the Galter Gang, this troop is made up of more than 60 macaques. And in the stifling heat, they all enjoy the respite provided by the temple's spring-fed pools. The temple also gives them the opportunity to display their incredible ingenuity. But outside the temple, there's a drought, and it's affecting the monkeys' food supply. The monsoon should have arrived weeks ago, but there hasn't been a single drop of rain. The lack of food is threatening to tear the gang apart, placing the leader's position under threat. A rival wants to steal power. And using his high intelligence, he's drawn up a plan to take over as Alpha. He targets the weakest monkeys first, like this low-ranking mother. Against such an aggressive male, no one comes to her rescue. And the challenger now has a thirst for power, attacking any macaque in range, before finally challenging for the throne. By attacking the queen, he's hoping to draw the alpha male into combat. And eventually, it works. Initially, the challenger steals the higher ground. But the alpha has the other macaques on his side. So the challenger turns the tables, chasing the alpha from the temple and appearing to gain control. But the alpha has led him into a trap. Attacking the queen was the challenger's biggest mistake. In macaque society, females never leave the troop, and this breeds loyalty that makes them a force to be reckoned with. All for one, and one for all. The challenger eventually realizes he's been outnumbered and is forced from the group. The gang regroup. the attack has done long-term damage. One young female has serious injuries. Her cuts may heal, but this mother has suffered an even bigger loss. All the Galter macaques appear to be affected by the mother's grief. This is the first time they've witnessed such a tragic death. The empathy displayed by the monkeys appears to show human-like emotion, seemingly comprehending the emotional trauma following the death of a child. Eventually, the mother will move on, but she will possibly mourn the loss for the rest of her life. But perhaps the ability to feel sadness is the price the macaques must pay for being blessed with one of nature's most powerful brains. In nature, these animals use their superior brain power to perform amazing feats, developing complex hunting strategies, creating intricate languages, and using ingenious tools. When faced with complex problems, these species demonstrate their superior intelligence in nature's constant battle for survival.